What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Talkin ATL Hawks podcast. This is episode 89, and that means we are very close to the big milestone, episode 100. So we've been doing this for time flies. It seems like
Yeah,
it wasn't too long ago when we first started this podcast, and here we
you know,
go.
Top Flies, we're having fun, and we're having fun.
Yeah,
This
and
this, this honestly like the highlight of my week, honestly.
yeah, it's great. Just getting together, talk about some Hawks basketball. We're in the heart of the summer league right now, so we've got a lot to get into. And as always, I'm of course Andrew Jefferson here, and I'm
Yeah,
joined by John Joyner. Joyner, how you doing, man? We had
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. Good solid week. Yeah, just happy to talk about some Hawks summer league with you.
yeah, man. I know we kind of got to get the elephant out of the room here. We were kind of talking about this off camera, but
Yeah,
Conor McGregor, man, what a fight!
yeah,
He really stuck it out there, man. I mean, he went to the final seconds. I mean, it was long, drawn out fight, and yeah, it was worth staying up for. The main event was definitely the highlight of the entire night. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, shout out McGregor. Shout out McGregor.
yeah.
Um,
Hopefully, hope he has one more fight in it. But if not, then congrats on a good career.
he
Great
needs to
career, I should
retire.
say.
Great career, but 5 years and you can't take one kick. Yeah, you need to retire, boy. That's like the end all right there. Like you gave it your all. You spent 5 years in recovery, and then you throw one kick to the neck area and you're done for. You couldn't even stand up after that. That's what's crazy to me is he just couldn't stand up. He just
Yeah,
fell on the floor and started doing back pedals. It was kind of sad, but
yeah.
Hey, and now we can address the other elephant in the room, Mr. Chase Jefferson.
Hey Chase, how
Uh,
you doing, man? Glad you could join us.
yeah, if y'all can recall last episode, I wasn't able to talk a whole lot because I had like ulcers in my mouth. So it
Mhm.
would just be like a real shame if like next episode Andrew just is just like physically not able to talk and he just can't join us. So if y'all come back next Sunday and it's just me and John, just know Andrew's okay, but something tragic happened to him.
Do we
Okay,
need to
Um
talk
so
about it, Chase?
so
Do we
hold
need to
on.
talk
Okay,
about it?
Andrew, before you say something, Chase, this is my idea. This is payback for last
oh
Monday. This is payback for
oh
last Monday when you pulled the AI stuff on me.
yeah.
As you can see, I'm wearing my Reese's A jersey.
Hey,
Uh,
You
so
sick
this is
human being.
payback.
hey,
Andrew, like you don't get in on it with me. So this
hey.
is my fault.
You
This one's
sick individual.
this is my idea.
If
Like
y'all
I just
don't
want to
know,
do some. I just want to do something very simple. Just like have you get kicked out for like a few minutes and bring it back
hey,
in.
Could have been longer.
if,
Could have been
if
longer.
y'all don't know what John's referring to, he's very upset about the Devin Booker trade that the Atlanta Hawks made, or he sent Zachary Ricochet, CJ McCollum, and I think Aneke Kongu was part of the trade too, and
Really
a
bad
couple
trade.
picks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was so mad that like I didn't mind that USA lost to Belgium. I was actually cheering for Belgium. Uh,
All right, now roles are reversed. Didn't expect that to happen, but then he started dissing
Wow.
the red, white, and blue back there. It's on site.
Well, you know what? No, hey,
You know
I
what?
don't think
I'm
I
gonna
don't
give
think it
you.
was. I don't think it was dissing red, white, and blue. You know what? America and England has that little rivalry going on. You know what? Originally, I probably would have pulled for Belgium too if we didn't go to a Braves game a couple of days ago and hang with some England lads. And turns out they're just the most chill people in the world. And now I kind of have a soft spot for England just because of how awesome they were. And they were pulling for America with us in the round of 32. So I kind of
for
felt
some reason, yeah.
obligated. I kind of felt obligated to pull for England just because they
Wait,
did it for
I
us.
think you missed what John said. He wasn't talking about. He didn't say anything about England.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I know that. I was like so mad. What I was saying is, I was so mad at you for that the AI prank that I was pulling for Belgium against the United States that night. That was the
Oh, I
same night.
thought
Because
you
I was
said
at a bar.
England. I thought.
I
Oh,
was at a bar with my family watching the game.
oh, I
We were at a
thought you.
bar.
I thought you said something about you were pulling for England to lose their World Cup or something.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
I know. I
no,
completely missed that. My bad.
no.
My
He
bad.
just Chase just started randomly, glazing the Brits over there, and I'm like, okay, that's
Whoa,
glad.
whoa! I think we should kick him back out.
Hey, I
But,
was
but
that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to know you like England. Apparently,
He's a
like
red coat.
thanks
He's a
for that
red
little
coat.
tidbit.
Hey, yo, whoa, hey, buddy. Well,
Yeah,
I,
we
I I
don't.
love I love when this is like a Hawks podcast, but like I feel like majority of the time we just go like the most like non-Atlanta Hawks rants ever. Um,
It's the off season,
Honestly,
man.
I think you start. I think you start most of that. Honestly, let's be honest.
I just know that one guy. I just know that one day somebody's gonna click on this video wanting to watch some Hawks content, and he's like, "Why are they ranting about red coats and u- usually
And
something
FIFA.
completely out of pocket?"
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
that's off season woes over here, but
Yeah,
thankfully, we are
it's
in the
amazing
heart
we're
of
still on
summer
YouTube.
league, so we've got a
yeah.
lot. We've got a lot of good to get into since the last time we spoke with you guys. It was the opening of the Salt Lake City or the Utah, whatever they call
I
it,
think it was just called the Utah League.
the Utah League, the individual or not individual, but the sectioned off group play that kind of kickstarts the summer league. Just kind of think of it as like the preseason for the summer league. We opened up talking about how the Atlanta Hawks faced Darren Peterson against the Utah Jazz for their opening game in that group play. And then we faced the other teams remaining in that Utah group, which were the Thunder and the Grizzlies. And then I'm telling you, it's been a busy week because after that, we were even able to squeeze in the opening two games of the actual summer league that we're going to get into as well against both the Spurs and the Nets. But didn't really have a start bench cut going into this episode. We kind of wanted to preserve the majority of the time talking about the actual summer league matchups as opposed to going into depth of all four games, since the first two games were just simply a follow-up to the summer league. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't any exciting or notable things to get into, and we will start with that game against the Oklahoma City Thunders, where the Hawks were victorious 82-77 after making a wild comeback win to even steal that game against the Thunder. I'll let either you, Chase, or you, John, get into it first, but somebody opened up about the Hawks' very revealing win after an ugly start against the Thunder.
Jason, you got it. Jason, I'll let you have the floor since I got you with that prank earlier. I
Hey,
want you.
hey, you know
Amends.
what? You know what, John? No, I pranked you first. I had payback coming my
Truth, we got
way.
truth, we got truth, we got
I
truth.
respect it. We got truce over here. I completely respect it. But in all honesty, and I didn't get to watch much of the Utah League Atlanta Hawks games because usually there's something else going on. I know one game that's when USA and Belgium were playing their match.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was against the Thunder. That was the
yeah,
Thunder. Yeah, that was against the Thunder because the TV because the board that I was at was actually showing the game
yep,
before the actual before the USA game.
yep.
So I did see the Hawks play against the Thunder. It was a good game. Good game.
And then Tuesday night we had something else going on. I know that's when we played the Grizzlies. I can't remember what was going on, but there's some reason we weren't able to watch it. But I did go back and I kind of checked out the Thunder game because from what I do understand, it was a pretty wild one. The Thunder got off to a blazing start in the first
Yeah.
quarter. We kind of evened it out in the second quarter, pretty even game heading into the half. And then right out the gate, we had a huge third quarter, and the Thunder couldn't really keep up the rest of the way. But from what I understood, looking at the box score and looking at everybody's numbers, this was a very impressive game at the glass, both offensively and defensively, because we were playing a Thunder team with a lot of size. Barnheiser is kind of like a secret weapon the Thunder have. He has showcased himself really well this summer league in terms of rebounding. And I know the Atlanta Hawks Summer League team has a lot of size to them as well, but I was
Yeah,
really impressed. This was a good size matchup, a tall team versus another tall team, and the Hawks definitely won the battle here. Out rebounding them, I think from what I see here, 46-39, 14
Oh, that wasn't me this time.
yeah, it's not me either.
What? Um.
Chase, you good?
Uh. Not really sure what happened there.
Anyway, I think what he was saying, we out rebounded the we out.
Yeah, you can go and finish off Joyner. I think he's
Yeah,
probably going to come back here in a
you
minute.
know, this is not a prank this time.
No,
Yes,
it
the Hawks
really
out
isn't.
rebounded the Thunder 46-39, 14 offensive rebounds to their 9, and we had 32 defensive rebounds to their 30. That was not us this time. We promise.
Yeah, that wasn't a
Oh
prank.
yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Oh yeah, no, I know what it was. Uh, our beloved Boston Celtics fan called me, and
Oh God.
for some reason, when he called me, it kicked me out of the meeting, or I blacked out, or something happened. But
It's
Always
on
a
yeah,
your
Celtics
it's
fan.
on your phone.
yeah, yeah, I'm recording on my phone, so
Okay.
so when someone calls me, for some
Yeah.
reason, it just blinks me out. But I was to the end of my point anyway. I was just gonna say that 14 of those were offensive rebounds,
Yeah.
and
No, I got it. I covered for you.
oh yeah. John took it the rest of the way. Because we talked about it all offseason, all last year, rebounding at the glass, offensively, defensively, huge problem for the Atlanta Hawks. So it's so good to see our big men here in the summer league perform well in that aspect, and that gives me a lot of hope that the Hawks are patching that wound.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. I mean, if you want to know exactly how big of a head start the Thunder got in this game, they actually won the first quarter 26 to
Hmm.
11, and
Yeah, it
that
was bad.
lead is stretched to as much as 20 points. And it was kind of like if you go back and watch the highlights, it really just essentially boiled down to the Hawks. They were just playing very rushed offensively, not really taking our time in possessions. We struggled to finish, like you said, against Mara's length. I mean, it was a really physical game inside a start. But then the Atlanta Hawks won the remaining 3 periods, 71-51. And that really included that 25-15 third quarter, which became a decisive and aggressive point of the game where the Atlanta Hawks just seemed to have much more control. And I really want to compliment Zuby Ejiofor's
Yeah.
breakout in this game.
I think we all should compliment him. He's gonna be a star. He's gonna be.
Yeah, and we're going to
He's
talk a lot about him in
yeah,
this episode as well. But this game in particularly, he had 19 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, and even added on the defensive end with 1 block. And he shot 5 of 13 overall, but his 3 pointers, he went 4 for 5 from beyond the
he's
arc.
a
And
shooter. He
yeah,
is a shooter.
I think we can all attest to that. His 3 point shooting is very intriguing. And I think he's just what really impresses me the most about him is his consistency and just his ability to create second chances. And that mainly goes from him getting offensive rebounds. But for a young man to have 15 rebounds and only 1 turnover really just shows how much he can influence this game. And he's done it all summer. So big shout out to Zuby Ejiofor because he has really just taken on this summer league full steam ahead. And he has just shown so many implications as to why he can be such a big contributor to this team. But
Yeah,
Jordan,
I
you
mean,
want to
honestly,
add
like, the
anything
hot
else?
take I have is I think he should be our backup four to Jalen Johnson. That's just
And
my opinion. That's a hot take. He should be our backup four. He should not that he should probably split minutes. He should probably like split the bench minutes with Asa. In my opinion.
I definitely expect him to get a lot more minutes than we originally thought. And I don't want to say this as an overreaction, so don't take this to an extreme level,
Yeah.
but his play style is very reminiscent to Carl Anthony Towns. Just a dominant player at the glass. He's a bully. He's got great size to him, and he is just so dominant beyond the arc. And I know we were kind of talking about this too. That's so important, especially in today's NBA, because that's just the way bigs are. Bigs aren't just inside bullies anymore. And in today's NBA, it's important for them to have a consistent outside shot because now all five are sitting beyond the perimeter. That's just a part of basketball strategy, and it's so important to have a guy like Ejiofor who not can not only just do it, but do it so well and so consistently. So I am really excited for him pushing forward.
100%.
Yep, absolutely. So the Hawks stole that one. And then, of course, we had just one other game of the Utah League to get into right before jumping into the actual Summer League regulation. This one was capped off against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, on paper, I mean, you take a look at the rosters, of course, everyone's going to get into the immediate headline like, oh, this is Kingston Flemings versus Cameron Boozer. But unfortunately, and per usual, just about every team for that third summer league game in the preseason section of it didn't hardly play any of what would be considered their starters for the summer league. So guys like Kingston Flemings and Cameron Boozer did not touch the court. They were rested right before the actual summer league play began. So this was mainly just the two, I guess the kind of coin flip players for both squads here. Guys, you don't really know what you're going to get out of them, but it was a big opportunity for them to showcase their abilities going head to head against each other for a full stretch. So this is a very intriguing matchup, even though the headline players weren't really participating. But Joyner, I'll let you get into this one first. The Hawks did end up winning 96-82, which finished us with a 2-1 record in that Utah League play. But Joyner, I'll let you get into this one first.
Yeah. So like you said, we didn't have our like star rookies playing guys like Kingston and Zuby. We had our in my opinion, they steal the draft. Visar starting in this game. He finished with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 5 from the point line. Jacob Toppin finished with 14 points, 9 rebounds. Isaac Mendila, which we'll talk about him like later, because finished with 12 points. Only shooting 4 for 8 from the field because he just shot 3-pointers. Higgs finished with the player of the game, finishing with 22 points, 7 for 9 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then we had Wong off the bench with 15 points, and then Mayo with 11 points off the bench as well. And the player of the game for the Grizzlies was Hausen, who finished with 21 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. So the Hawks started this game off winning the quarter by 13 points. Grizzlies won the second quarter by 2 points. Grizzlies won the third quarter by 6 points, and then the Hawks won the fourth quarter by 9 points, and we finished winning the game by 6 points.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. Sorry, 14. I'm sorry. 14. Sorry.
A little bit more than
I can't do math. I'm sorry.
But yeah, the before I kick it to you, Chase, just kind of bouncing off you, Joyner. The thing that really impressed me the most about this game, we talked about cleaning the glass, getting the offensive boards, creating those second chance opportunities. But overall, offensively, out of all the games, including both the regular summer league and the Utah League, this has easily been the most efficient basketball we've seen from the Hawks. Now, of course, like we mentioned, it's not our usual rotation playing, but to see these guys open up on such a strong note, and we even had a 13-0 run in that first quarter. And we had an overall offensive rating of 126.4, which for those who don't know, that's really good. That means we shot the ball very well, and the stats speak for itself, shooting 46% overall. And we knocked down 15 of our 32 three-pointers, which is a 47 percentile, and 6 Atlanta Hawks players, like Joyner mentioned, scored in double figures, and we did have 13 turnovers, so I guess you could say that was the sloppiest part of that offense. But the 24 assists do make up for that a little bit. But Chase, what stood out to you the most about this matchup?
I'm going to say we dominated this game so well because of our defense.
Yeah,
But if
I
you look at the stretch of this game, I mean, we completely dominate from start to finish. Memphis had the lead just only once this entire game. At the very start, they went up by two, and the Hawks took it the rest of the way, going up by 19 points at one point. And this is going to be a main topic of conversation, especially when we get into the main summer league games. I mentioned in the last episode a little bit as well. How quick we play defensively is a problem. I know 13 turnovers is a little sloppy on our end, but we caused 20 turnovers on the Memphis end. I think the key to playing so fast and the big benefit of it is that it keeps the opposing team from being able to share the ball well. So in a big instance, it's really kind of turned into a one um multiple people trying to be a one man show on the offensive end for the Grizzlies. And that's a bigger problem when not even your star summer league players are playing. And it's just players trying to make their way and they're not really experiencing that type of field. So because the Hawks defensively closed down the passing lane so well, all the players, as you see in the starting lineup, had really poor shooting percentages. Porter just 20% shooting 2 for 10. Hendricks shot 3 for 14. Burton 4 for 10, and Housen did shoot 5 for 13. All of those were from beyond the arc. He was 0 for from inside. I think that's because, like I said, they weren't able to pass the ball. 17 assists, even in a shortened game, is really low assist numbers. And they had to take it themselves, and they just didn't create a lot of space for themselves. And that's just a nod and a tip of the cap to how well the Hawks played as a unit defensively. And like I said, that's something I'm going to say repeatedly, especially in these next two games we're really going to dive into. More notably, this Brooklyn game we just previous played. Fourth quarter, probably one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen.
yeah.
I know y'all two can agree on that. So yeah, just a testament to how well this summer league team is playing together. The chemistry there, and you can see it especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, and if there's any particular guy on the roster that I do want to shout out for this as well is Devon Higgs. This is a guy that is going to be you're going to see him a lot if you pay any attention to the G League for the College Park Skyhawks. He's definitely going to earn a roster spot on that G League squad. And this showcase was very ideal and speaks very highly of him because Higgs in this game, he really demonstrated. Now, this is a guy that you could also expect to be on a two-way contract. So you might see him make some garbage time appearances for the Hawks this season as well. But he demonstrates in this game, whenever he has the opportunity to seize these moments, that he can supply that scoring opportunity while defending multiple possessions. So he's really your perfect example of a two-way player that can be utilized just about anywhere in any sort of game plan because he's very efficient. He can finish at the basket. He can shoot from deep. He only had 2 3-pointers, but he did demonstrate that. And of course, I guess what I really like about him is he doesn't like hijack possessions. Like he doesn't try to make the possessions all about him. He just wants to be around the ball at all times, whether that means off ball movement or trying to create those open looks for himself. He just wants to be involved in some shape, form, or fashion. And those are guys that you're going to see flourish in the G League and make really good role players if he can make it to that NBA level, which I
He's
really
a
expect him to. And I think he's also going to be eye candy for some trade opportunities down the road if we can't fit him into our actual NBA roster. So shout Devon Higgs because I think
I
he's the
think
kind of guy that's trying to make a name for himself, not necessarily for this roster. I would love for him to make a name for himself on this roster, but for those specific players, these particular games are for their own resume. And for Devon Higgs, he really
They're
took that
very
opportunity
important.
and ran with it, which was very fun to
I,
watch.
I think you said it so well, Andrew. And the testament of how he wants to be involved in every play. He's a coach's dream.
Yeah.
I know that our coaching staff praised him very much so, especially in this Memphis game, because he's such a coachable player. He's like you said, he's not a selfish player. He's not trying to make it about him, and he can run about any playbook. You show him the play, and he's going to play his role for the benefit of the team. So, like you said, whether it's on our benefit or someone else's benefit, he's going to make a franchise really happy. And I think he has the qualities already to be a very sustainable role piece.
for sure. Jorner, you have any closing remarks before we hit the first summer league
no, I
matchup?
don't. You all said it all. Okay. No, I don't. You all said it perfectly.
Okay. All right, boys. Well, we will go ahead and get right into what was the first official summer league game for the Atlanta Hawks and the San Antonio Spurs. So this game took place not in Utah, but in Las Vegas. And this game was, you look at it for face value. The Hawks, we did open up the first quarter.
That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I was looking for a bell. I was trying to see if I.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find one either, so I was just making the noise.
There we go. Yeah,
I was wondering what Chase was looking for. Then John, he did.
I thought I had a belt nearby.
Yeah, and the box score says that exactly, not as verbal, but it does say it if you look at it. The Hawks took immediate control in the first quarter, winning it 27-15. And then we closed the first period on an 11-4 run. But what's most impressive about this matchup is the Atlanta Hawks never trailed in this game. We won every single quarter. We won the first quarter 27-15, the second quarter 23-17, the third quarter being the most competitive 21-19, and then we won the fourth quarter 22-15. The closest approach the Spurs ever had in this game was in the opening of minutes when the Atlanta Hawks were up 3-2. But the Spurs were actually up 3-2. And then after we jumped the lead, from that point, we never trailed. And it really just goes to show that the Atlanta Hawks in such a young squad. Now, of course, the summer league is full of young people trying to expose their talent to the rest of the league. So it's not like you're facing any veterans here. But when you see this young group control the game the way it did, you had the Hawks had 26 total assists, so nobody was ever being selfish. And I know Chase is probably going to get into this as well because he kind of alluded to it in the previous game recap, how the Atlanta Hawks had that ability to force turnovers. Guys, we forced 23 freaking turnovers in this game. That is fantastic for any young group at any level. And to have 23 turnovers forced on the defensive end and then finish with a 117 offensive rating while the Spurs was only sitting at 83. I mean, what else can you say about that? What else can you say? And then you want to talk about star players. I'll go ahead and throw the first overall pick out there, Kingston Fleming. Well, first overall pick for the Hawks, Kingston Flemings. I mean, this is what I love about the kid. And I know you guys are probably going to get your own peace of mind about this as well. But he only had 5 points. Had 5 points. But this was arguably his best pure point guard performance because while he only had 5 points, he was just a pure defensive shot creator, had 8 assists, just 1 turnover. So very careful and very purposeful on where he was placing the ball. He added a steal and contributed with the block in 24 minutes of play. So this is a guy that can advance the ball quickly. He can manipulate any defensive players who are matched up against him, and he always trusts the next pass. This is a guy that wants to pour out his play style to his teammates and let his teammates feed off of that ability. And the Atlanta Hawks needed him to be that high volume guy so that other teams can contribute and we can lead to a performance like we laid out on the court in this game. So very, very impressive performance from Kingston Flemings and everybody he shared the ball with. But either Chase or Joyner, I'll let you guys kind of run with it from here. What did you guys like the most about this dominant performance from the Hawks?
Like you said, like it just seems like everyone got a piece of the cake of this game. Like everyone, almost everyone scored double figures. The only guys that didn't score double figures was Madsen, Flemings, and Jacob Toppin off the bench. Like 4 of our bench guys had double figures, and Dennis, Kobe Johnson, Keyshawn Gilbert, and then V-Star had 14 and 6 rebounds, and Kobe White also had 8 rebounds, which that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Showing a little bit of his big brother and Jalen. But then Asa had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then Zuby had 12, 4, and 3. Uh, got a little crazy with the fouls there, but 6 fouls. But I mean, like the summer league allows it, so like the players gonna have
He's
like
just aggressive.
yeah,
You can have what 10 fouls in
Yeah,
summer league.
10 fouls.
oh yeah, something like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Because I think either Darren or Debanza has
It was Peterson.
It
like 9. I think the first game that showcased the top 2 picks. Yeah, Peterson had like 9 fouls in that game. That was pretty
it's
crazy.
it's nearly impossible, yeah, to foul in summer league. Of course, they do it because it's summer league.
Yeah,
They want these young guys to showcase themselves, and they're not going to be perfect by any means. So you know they're going to make defensive errors, and they just don't want their chance to showcase themselves be ruined because of fouls. So honestly, I respect the rule making it nearly impossible for someone to get fouled out.
Yeah, I just love what Pearson said about it. He literally the reporter asked him after that game, like Joner said, where he finished with 9 fouls, and I think that was going up against AJ, so it was bound to be physical. But
yeah.
the reporter asked, you were very aggressive, and it seemed like you were purposeful in being that aggressive and committing those fouls. And he just straight up said, he said, I heard that I had 10 fouls to play with, so I'm going to use 9 of them. And I'm like,
There
you
you
know
go.
what? I like it. I mean, it's fouling is a part of the game. And to some extent, fouling can be strategic. And if you have 10 fouls to give, why not use 9 of them, especially in late game situations? So, and for a young guy like Pearson to go out with that kind of aggression and mindset, dude, the league's going to be put on notice. Peterson's going to be freaking disgusting. But Joyner, sorry, you can go ahead with what you were saying.
I mean, because I was like, but like, I mean, yeah, like no great game, and it's bad when like the majority of the Spurs bench plays in this game. That's exactly what happened. We emptied their bench, which I mean, I mean, like, it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just like it's something the other guys that like don't play in games, like playing games and showcase why that they belong on the main roster. But I mean, which mean like that's something else too. Like I don't understand like why like these coaches don't play their entire bench when these are guys that are trying to make these G League or main roster squads. So it's kind of odd in my opinion to have the what guys sit out, but that's
Well,
just me.
It's like Acuff because Acuff needs a chance, or otherwise he's never going to make the NBA roster. So I
I
agree
mean,
with
I'm actually
you.
watching AJ. I mean, Akov play right now, so I don't know what you're saying.
They finally let him in. They let him in.
Huh?
They let
He
Acuff
started
in.
that. He started actually.
Yo,
Unlike
they're
unlike
giving
this
him a
guy
chance.
from the Lakers. What's his name? Like
hey, hey,
something
hey, I know
McCry.
I
McCry
know
baby that
exactly
had
what you're going
drafted.
there.
What is it? McCry baby? Is that what it is?
Robert McCray, though he might not do much on the stat sheet, what he does, yeah, and how he influences Lakers are just something that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. It's a shame,
That's
because
why LeBron's leaving the Lakers because he knows McRae's going to take his spot.
Um.
he's gonna make the South Bay Lakers really happy, or Southside
Okay.
Lakers, wherever their G League team is.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
This is very similar to the Grizzlies' performance. Just dominated from start to finish. Matter of fact, the Spurs never had a lead this entire matchup. Hawks led the entire way, and again, I think this is a huge testament to our defense, and I think this was a well coached game because we eliminated what the Spurs try to get their play style to be. So you notice if you look at the box score, one thing's going to stand out, and it's that how horrible the Spurs shot from deep. 4 for 34 from beyond the arc, and they were trying to let it fly, and the Atlanta Hawks just would not let them. We guarded the perimeter so well, especially Gillespie, who is a type of guy who's known to create great space beyond the arc and try to be dominant from three. And we kept him very limited. He shot 2 for 6. The bench tried to play the same way, but nobody coming off the bench as deep as they got made a three from beyond the arc. And that was kind of the Spurs' name of their game. And the Hawks just eliminated that completely. And that's just another testament to how quick the Atlanta Hawks play defensively. We move off screens very quick. If there's, a defensive matchup that's uneven, we can make a switch really quickly, or we can play help defense. There's great communication on that side of the basketball. And that is another big issue that the Atlanta Hawks have faced recently was beyond the arc defense. So that's just another testament that Onsi Salem has the right guys in the right system to patch these holes, because I guarantee you years down the road this is going to make a huge this is not just something to kind of like, oh yeah, it's cool, but these are summer league players. Now these guys that are playing right now could really impact the future of this team. We have seen many great NBA players come through the summer league. So that's what makes summer league important. It's just not wish-wash basketball. It's you're watching the future of the NBA, and you never know what type of difference these players are going to make. So I love to see that they're
Yeah.
fixing franchise issues right now. So we can do it now and we can do it later too. And that's just a testament to this coaching staff and to Onse Salem. They had these guys in the right direction. But one guy I know we're going to especially say his name a lot next game. Asa Newell. He deserves himself some upgraded minutes this upcoming season. I know he's still going to get his primary role in Scott College Park, but I do expect him to get some up to minutes for the Atlanta Hawks roster this season, and he just continues to grow his game defensively, and he kind of blindsides players. It's kind of like the terminology I'm gonna use here, because you never see him coming. He plays such great help defense, especially in this next thing we're gonna get up to. But inside defense, if he notices that a defender has a disadvantage inside, he comes in quickly and plays a help defense. If he notices that they're gonna kick out beyond the perimeter, he picks up on that quickly and he goes to the outside to prevent that shot. And that was a key reason why the Spurs shot so poorly beyond the arc. Asa Newell had a lot to do with that. So I'm getting more excited about him defensively, and that had a lot to do with this game and especially what we're about to get into next.
Yeah, and I going on Asa Chase, all that was well said. But Asa Newell, I don't even know how much time he's going to be spending in College Park, to be honest with you. I mean, you could see at the end of last season, even in the postseason, in the absence of Jot Landale, we really trusted Asa Newell. And I feel like that's the level he's playing at right now. I would be shocked if he spends more than half the season in College Park. I really do believe that we're going to try to burn his name somewhere into our bench, because, and you could
it just depends. It depends. The only reason I said that, I just don't know how much. I don't know how we're going to play our bench yet and how much room we're going to have, because there's a
Like the
lot.
bench is always
Well,
the bench is always the tricky part when it comes to Hawks basketball, because we don't know who's going to play.
Well,
Yeah.
we've already cleared some room. I mean, you can look at the offseason transactions. Yeah, we picked up Wiggins. We signed Jot Landale, but with the absence of, and Wiggins could be the replacement for Jonathan Kuminga. But I feel like in a 13-man roster, the way that you can just see how the teammates around Asa reciprocate him, I feel like you just have to, especially now that he's got that experience through his rookie season in both the NBA and College Park, this is the time you really try to see if you can push him forward a little bit, get him to that next step, because you don't want this to be a Kuminga situation where you've got raw talent sitting right there and your sole problem is you don't know where to fit him. If a guy is that talented, you are always going to find ways to fit him in there. And Chase, you praised Onsi Sela a lot, and I think you're absolutely right. And I think Onsi is the type of guy to keep a close eye on guys like Asa Newell. He's going to find a way, regardless of what the offseason looks like, how Asa can really be used here. And you talk about how he's able to score inside. He can hit a couple threes. He didn't even commit a single turnover in this game. And he's always active on the rim and wants to be complimented by guys like Flemings as well. And you saw the post game. The moment the post game was over and Asa Newell was doing his wrap up interview, all the players got around him, started chunking their water bottles at him. They were all like crowding around him. It was like a mosh pit. And the reporter asked, like, this kind of seems like a family environment. And that's what Asa said, is that they have such a tight, close grip on each other. And I feel like the teammates around Ace is going to feel that way because he's trying to be the guy that can make everybody else around him better. He doesn't want to be the guy where the spotlight's always on him. And I think that's why everybody gets so riled up when they have Asa contributing at such a high level, because nobody this summer has deserved it more than him. So I absolutely expect Asa Nua to start creeping into that significant role player this year. And by next season, he's going to be fully NBA rostered and no time in College Park whatsoever. And
I agree.
Excited to see that.
And I hope you're right. But you also, and the reason I just said like Summer League this year, because like you said, we got Wiggins now. We re-signed Landale. Muhammad Gay is still going to play a big role. You got to remember Zachary Ricochet as well. Kingston Flemings, Ejiofor, I imagine is going to get minutes as well. I wonder how we're going to implement Vsar. I imagine he's going to be on a two-way.
No. Remember we signed him to a 4-year to a standard contract.
Exactly. We did. You're right. Contract. Yeah, so Vsar too. So Asa Newell no doubt's going to get his minutes for the team, but I imagine we're still going to use this as a progressive year for him, where he's going to spend majority of the time at College Park. But then, of course, we're going to use him Atlanta Hawks roster as well. It's just for the sake of room. And we got to figure out how we're going to play this out. And correct me if I'm wrong, don't the Hawks still have one more player to cut? I think we're still one player over, like, the limit you have to have. So we still got to cut somebody, too. So we still don't have.
I think it's Kuminga, right? I don't. It's still. Well, actually, I don't think he's basically on a roster.
But no, he's not.
Yeah, he's.
But like, haven't we said that we're gonna probably sign and trade him to a team?
I don't know exactly. And so I think Andrew's looking that up. Something else I'm going to ask: why? Why did Sorry, I kind of got Ross here. Listen, why did Jaden not play? Jaden Quintonance, their first round pick. Any read on why they didn't play him to open, because that was their summer league debut too. And matter of fact, I thought
it was hurt.
I think the Spurs are one of the teams. Actually, I don't know if that's correct. Let me confirm that. Before, no, that's not correct. Never mind. Forget I said that. But is he hurt?
I'm looking it up.
Because during the game they showed him with the team in street clothes.
Hold on. I got something. Yes, he is recovering from. He is recovering from a right knee injury.
Okay. Makes sense.
He's not going to play in the summer league. He's not going to play. He's sitting out.
Oh, he's going to miss it entirely. Okay.
Yeah.
Going full Ben Simmons.
All right.
But since he was, I believe, drafted in the first round. I believe. I mean, he's gonna make the squad. Like, I don't think they're gonna like send him down to the G League entirely. Like, he might be on a two-way, but I don't think that.
I would expect
G-leaguer.
I'd expect two-way contract. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks before we get into the other matchup against the Brooklyn Nets?
No.
All right. Well, we'll just go right into it. While keep it smooth and steady, boys. We got our second game, which actually took place yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, where the Hawks were victorious 83-76. So this one a lot more compact and competitive as opposed to the Spurs matchup. Now, of course, the front runner in this game being, you had the whole I guess like for a better term, it was not nearly as extreme as the Oklahoma City game. I guess in some ways it probably
I think it was. I think it was.
The Brooklyn Nets did control most of this game. They did lead 46-41 at the half,
Yeah.
and they did hold a 10-point lead. It was 67-57 with 7 minutes left of the game, and the Atlanta Hawks finished on a staggering 26-9 run, winning the fourth quarter by 10. And this is what Chase was talking about early in the podcast, where you want to see the Hawks put full throttle on their defensive play. This was by far one of the most impressive defensive performances you're ever going to see in a 7-minute stretch. And it simply came after a timeout. Once the Nets got up by 10, we took a quick timeout, and the Atlanta Hawks immediately after that break, the pressure increase, which caused Brooklyn's offense to become very stagnant. And that's when Atlanta fully began to convert those open threes that we did miss earlier. Early in the game, our three-pointer shots were just not falling whatsoever. And this was much of a different win from what we saw in the Spurs game and what we just talked about, because the Atlanta Hawks actually only had 5 offensive rebounds and we committed 16 turnovers. So this was very far and beyond the game we had against San Antonio. The glass was not being clean. The second chance points were not being shown. The turnovers were very apparent. So very clean and
No Brown, by the way. Brown didn't play this game.
Yeah.
Mikael Brown didn't play, so
yeah, exactly.
I mean, really, no excuse to play that as bad as we played, but happy to have the win regardless.
They needed Brown in this game.
And it's just one of those things where you got to remember these guys are young. So it's not always going to be a clean product of basketball. So 16 turnovers in a summer league game does not have the same weight as like 16 turnovers in an actual NBA game, because you expect them to get the kinks out in these kind of matchups right here. So it did not, even though we did win, it was not that overwhelming physical dominance that we saw in San Antonio. But the fact that the Atlanta Hawks did win showcases that even when things are ugly with this young group, we had the adversity to fight back in the final minutes, which in more ways than one might be shown as a little bit more impressive than what we showcased in the San Antonio game, because you have to have the ability to bounce back and be short-minded and have adversity if you ever want to make it in the actual NBA, because that is very important, because you're going to have your very bad stretches, but you can't let things go from bad to worse. And that's what the Hawks did perfectly. So the one guy that I'm going to shout out before I get one of you guys to really dive deep into how the Atlanta Hawks made that fourth quarter comeback, I really want to go back to Ejiofor. I mean, I know we talked about him a lot.
I think we have to.
But
Like he's already been he's already been our best player, arguably.
Yeah, and I don't think that's far from the truth at all. And, we talked about his 19-point, 15 rebound performance against the Thunder. Here in another comeback effort, he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals, filled the stat sheet any way he could. And he made both of his 3-point attempts and was one of the central figures in the Atlanta Hawks' late defensive surge in this game. And I think just we go back to what Ejiofor is demonstrating here. He has so many NBA traits at such a young development stage. I mean, you've got the offensive rebounding, you've got the pick and roll passing, you've got the rim protection, and his ability to space the floor as well. So when I look at a guy like Ejiofor and what he did in the fourth quarter, it's the question is not whether or not those skills are valuable. It's whether or not he can execute them consistently against an NBA size and pace. And everything that he's thrown out to the court, not just in this game, but in games prior, fully showcased that to me, that he is NBA ready at this level. And that's very impressive when the Atlanta Hawks played their worst brand of basketball this summer, and he was still able to contribute at an NBA level pace. So very exciting stuff from the Atlanta Hawks defensively as a whole, and particularly Ejiofor. But he's not the only one that showed out on the defensive end. You can talk about Flemings, you can talk about Toppin. You can talk about Newell for that matter, but I'm going to let either John or Chase take charge in those conversations. And one of y'all really get into how the Hawks were able to surge in the fourth quarter.
Chase, you got it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it was just a defensively was phenomenal. It was kind of the same pieces and same strategy we put against the first opening matchup against the Spurs. We just game planned so well. This was another well coached game, especially defensively. Y'all can probably beat me to it. What am I gonna say? The Atlanta Hawks did so well defensively.
Forced turnovers.
Turnovers.
Not what I was gonna say, but yes, we did force turnovers very well. What did I talk about last game?
Oh, rebounds. The rebounding.
Not the rebounding.
What?
I thought you were
What?
gonna catch on, maybe not. Perimeter defense.
Oh,
They
Oh,
shot 2 from 24 from deep. Now you do like Andrew kind of shadowed here as well. You do have to give a little bit of disclaimer because yes, these are summer league players. They're
oh
not
my
NBA
God, you're
ready.
right.
So they're not going to be great shooters, but I don't want to take away from the fact of how well the Atlanta Hawks guarded the perimeter
you still
again.
got to defend it, regardless if they're good shooters or
Yeah,
not.
exactly. And we did that so well. And it's because we play so quick and we're handsy. And the player I'm gonna, highlight for hands purposes is Kingston Flemings. And we knew this was the type of product he built. He built within himself when he was playing college ball at Houston, who is primarily a great defensive school.
If you come out of Houston, you're going to be an elite defender because you're right, Chase. That's all they focus on over at Houston, and that's what
And,
makes
Yeah.
them such an intriguing school.
And that's what the Atlanta Hawks knew they were getting out of Kingston Flemings. He smothers and suffocates the defenders anytime they try to come his way inside. And there was a moment in a play in the fourth quarter, right at the end, where the
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets, a big man, I can't remember who it was from the top of my head, but had such a huge size. Well, a lot of people have a huge size advantage against Kingston Fleming because he does have great size, which is why I think it's so impressive that he plays this good defensively. Because this guy had way more size on Kingston Flemings, yet he was able to smother the ball out of his possession, forcing a jump ball. And it resulted in a turnover essentially because the Atlanta Hawks forced an empty possession and then they went on their end and got a huge bucket. So it was a big moment of the game
You
that
could see
kind
how
of
fired up Flemsings was when he got that ball. Like
and
he
the
plays with so much energy and
The
passion.
entire bench got up and started flexing for Kingston Flemings. And I want to say we got a conversation today at church. Our buddy Travis, who's a big Hawks fan, he kind of came up to me and kind of threw a curveball. He kind of said that he's not excited about Kingston Flemings. And the reason, and I hear him out, and the reason and what he was getting at was his size. He was not excited about how small Kingston Fleming was, and he was worried that when he gets to the NBA, or when he's I guess
Regular
sustains
season.
himself in a role in the NBA, that he's gonna get bullied, he's gonna get tossed around. But then I reminded him, I was like, well, wait a minute, go back to his college days. He played in the Big 12, and the Big 12, if you look, was a great defensive conference. He went up with a lot. He went up against a lot of college players who overtowered him size wise, and he was one of the best defensive players in the Big 12, and that's what he's been doing in the summer league as well,
And
especially in this game against Brooklyn.
I know it
It,
has nothing to do with size, but watch his one-on-one matchup against Darren Peterson when Houston played Kansas. That's
well,
one of the best defensive performances.
You mean Debansta? Because
Yeah,
oh
that's
wait
what I
no
meant. No,
wait
no,
oh wait no you're right. I'm sorry. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
you're
he,
talking about
You're
Darren
right.
Peterson, yeah.
I'm
played
sorry.
both.
I'm a brain fart. I had a brain fart there.
He played both, but I was particularly talking about the one against Peterson. And
Yeah.
I think the Celtics fan called Chase again.
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
Yeah, but to me, that's the thing, that he has a special quality because yes, size might be a problem in some aspects. You gotta remember he's gonna get size on him. The trainers are gonna get him in the weight room. They're gonna get him to bulk up. He's gonna get some size on him. But for the meantime. It's his quick hands. It's how quick he plays defensively. He can read a dribble and like nobody's business. He can read a play like a book. So he knows what the opposing player is going to do before he even does. He knows the next dribble he's going to make, which is why he's so great at forcing turnovers. And when you're a guy who's so outmatched in terms of size, that's a huge aspect that could win you the defensive matchup time after time. And, I kind of explained that to him, and Travis is like, okay, you know what? When you think about it that way, you've kind of calmed me down a little bit because I do understand his concern, but Flemings has every attribute imaginable that can combat those concerns. So, on the contrary, I'm really excited about Kingston defensively.
Yeah.
Joyner, what you got?
I mean, I think I covered it perfectly. I mean, yeah. I mean, like the. I'm gonna think someone else that we need need to really talk about was Kobe Johnson off the bench
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
17 points, 7 boards again, looking like his older brother Jalen. Um, I really it's probably just me, but I really hope we sign Kobe to the roster just so we can play with Jalen. I also think that'd be so fun
That
to
would be
watch.
awesome. That would be awesome.
And we might see it. We might see it maybe in garbage time or somewhere late in the season,
Yeah,
depending on where we stand. But yeah, and just one more thing about Flemings, and I know we talked about, or Chase really did a good job going in depth with Flemings and how he performed here. Um, and again, and I'll say it again, that my favorite thing about Flemings, even though this sounds very odd, considering this is my favorite thing, he did not shoot the ball well. I mean, he rebounds and he
Yeah.
playmates, and those always remain a positive. But Brooklyn's pressure, it bothered him a lot. He occasionally, it had moments in the game where he was forced to leave his feet and he had to throw the ball to find a clear passing option before he got into those crowded areas. But still, even when Brooklyn's pressure, wear down on him, his response to that is very important because even when the shots weren't falling, he still remained involved by getting after the turnovers, defending, and contributing to the comeback win, but rather than becoming passive. Because with a lot of young guys, when they start to struggle offensively, they'll become very passive and feel like the best way for them to contribute is to stand back and not be involved at all. But Flemings, he takes it in control. He says, if I'm not shooting the ball well, let my presence be enough for my teammates to have success. Let me force the turnovers. Let me smother the defenders. Let me rebound. Let me pass. Let me shot create. Let me do something that still leaves my mark on this game. And that's what I love about Flemings. And a guy that we haven't talked about that I will throw his name out because he did really well coming off the bench is Zeke Mayo. Zeke Mayo shot very well
yeah,
in the game, had 11 points. He had 3 steals, which 3 steals in 14 minutes is very impressive if you ask me. And then you have Isaiah Wong, which Joyner, I know you talked about him a little bit in this episode. He had 10 points, shooting 100% from the 3-point shot. And what I really love, I don't know if one of you guys said this already, so if y'all did, forgive me, but the Atlanta Hawks bench outscored Brooklyn's bench 48-8. Brooklyn's bench only had 8 points, and our bench had 48. So that is a very, very wide margin where Brooklyn, even though they had a lot of prominent players on their starters, the fact that our bench was able to outweigh theirs by 30 points is significant to why the Atlanta Hawks was able to make that late surge. So yeah, my final takeaway here is you get a young group of guys that trail by double digits deep into the fourth quarter and you still make a win out of it. I mean, tip your hat to Flemings, to Newell, to McKinley, to Kobe. All of them earned this hard fought win. Ejiofor, of course, as well. So yeah, just a great way to go 2-0 in the summer league. And now we have our next matchup tomorrow.
Before we get to that, we haven't talked about that shot from McNeely from like half
end of the
court.
game.
Like that was crazy. Like
Hey, he's got some range. Kid's got some range.
yeah, and like man, and like correct me if I'm wrong, but he went to UConn, right? McNeely.
I'm not too sure where he went, to be
I'm
completely
pretty
honest
sure he
with
went
you.
to Isaac McNeil.
Yeah, confirm that. And why you're confirming that?
Oh no! Oh no! He went to Virginia and Louisville. Huh.
Hmm.
Oh, he did
I
play
thought he.
for Louisville.
I thought he played for.
You knew that.
I do remember him at Louisville. I don't remember him at Virginia, but I do remember him at Louisville.
All right.
Hey, I will say this is.
I mean, it's still a great shot, regardless. I mean,
Oh yeah, what a dagger.
yeah.
I will say this is Hawks related, and this kind of pulls on my heartstrings a little bit. Have y'all kept an eye on how much Kobe Buffkin is balling for the Pelicans right now?
He is. I love it. I love to see
Yeah.
it.
Buddy's averaging 19 points in summer league right now, and he is an absolute playmaker and a stud. And and I know injuries kind of conflicted his future with Atlanta, and we didn't really have a true place for him. But I am glad to see that he's somewhere flourishing because Kobe Buffkin's got some special game to him. I truly believe that, and because of how uh the Pelicans are just going rebuild right now. I think that I wouldn't be
Not only,
surprised.
I mean, not only that, but they're helping us in the process. So thank you, New Orleans.
They
Appreciate
are.
Joey Buffkin.
They are. Yeah, you know what? And I think because the Pelicans are going to rebuild, he could find his place back on an actual NBA roster, and he could be something a little surprising. So y'all continue to keep y'all's eye on Kobe Buffkin. He can make
Yeah.
some noise in New Orleans.
Yep. Nice
Sure.
shout out there to old Cubster. But yeah, the Atlanta Hawks so far 2-0 in the NBA Summer League, the actual Summer League Vegas edition. Next two matchups, we play the Boston Celtics tomorrow. So we've got some personal ties to the Celtics, so we'll enjoy that matchup. And then
Yeah,
of
no,
course,
we'll enjoy the matchup, but the Boston fans won't because we know a certain Boston fan that called Chase will not be
Oh,
watching the game.
oh yeah, I'm about to call him back.
yeah, he'll say he watched the game, but we all know he ain't watching the game.
Yeah, no,
And then we round
he's
up.
not watching the game.
We
And
round
I mean, also, like, not only is this it's a matchup for us as Hawks fans because we know some personal Boston fans, but this is a match between two Houston guys in Cenac and Fleming. So
That is true. That is very true.
I did mention a lot last episode, although don't get me wrong, love who we took with our second overall pick. But I did want CNAC originally because I wanted the Flemings and CNAC pairing. So you're right, Joyner. Thank you for reminding me. That is going to be a very interesting part of that matchup. And then we round up our Summer League regular season before the elimination rounds begin against the Memphis Grizzlies, but this time we will get the Flemings and Boozer head-to-head matchup. So that is also going to be a very fun matchup there. So a very intriguing week of basketball for Atlanta Hawks fans. And then, of course, the way this has gone so far, we expect us to be in the elimination rounds of the Summer League as well. So we might be able to sneak a Summer League championship under our belt before the NBA season, boys. So
that would
buckle up.
probably be the closest thing we've ever gotten to an Atlanta Hawks championship. I'll tell you it. Well, actually, I'll take that back. We were 1-1 away from the cup a few years ago. So there's that. But
hey, we got that Eastern Conference Finals, Dominic Wilkins and Larry Birdbanger. Not that we were alive for that, but
yeah,
that was something.
Yeah.
Shout out 1959 St. Louis Hawks.
Bob Pettit, Bob Pettit wasn't on that team. Was he? No, he wasn't. No, he was.
No,
he wasn't.
Lou Hudson at least was, I think.
I can't remember.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? But
anyway, I look at that banner, and at this point, I'm like, do we just take it down?
Well, after Draymond Green trolled us, I was like, you know what? It might be time.
Yeah,
it might be time.
Well, you're probably right. It's probably time for us to get like a more it's probably time for us to like update it a little bit because that banner is probably at least like 20 to 30 years old, maybe older. So we gotta like update it, put it in like Hawks colors, So because I think right now it's like green and blue, which are the colors that they wore when they won it. So we need to put that in like actual Hawks colors.
Let me tell you though, if there's this is how we'll end the episode because I've made my case before, and
that thing had a dream before Martin Luther King, dog.
Yeah. whatever that
Oh
means.
my god.
Yeah, this right here. Let me tell you this right here.
Buddy said no before Rosa Parks did. I'm sorry.
Where are we going with this?
Thank God it's not February, Chase. Thank God it's.
I'll stop. I'll stop while I'm ahead.
Yeah.
There you go. This is what I want to hear. Now, I don't know. This may be a hot take, but let me tell you, I would do anything right now.
I don't like where this is going. I don't even know what he's doing. I just don't like it.
Still
No.
have your AI nudes.
Well, that comes. This right here. Whoa. Where'd you go, Dennis?
Whoa.
Dennis?
Oh.
Dennis Schroeder? Oh,
Hey.
yeah.
Well, I don't. It's not really.
Hey, I remember this game specifically. Isaiah Thomas hit a game-winning mid-range in this game right here.
But these jerseys right here, if we could get a throwback, if Atlanta Hawks could just wear these for a couple games, please. I love these jerseys. Right. I don't know if it's a hot take. I don't know if people.
I do too. I really do. I really do.
I love those jerseys right there. But that's all I gotta say for my closing remarks.
Yeah. Good.
All right, boys.
That's it for me.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Great recap. A lot of good things to talk about this week. Hopefully our energy is going to be the same next week, and that the Hawks either go 3-1 or 4-0. Who knows? We just want us to see you continue to play good basketball. But until then, my mom is calling. So this is Andrew, Jordan, and Chase, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.